Except for God's presence in the world, pure love only exists on the other sides of birth and death. Hi, I'm Dasa. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get automatic notifications of all new postings. And especially leave a short, uplifting comment, because that is how YouTube encourages us to communicate directly back and forth. The thing that goes by the word love in the material world, due to daily constant killing to eat and just by breathing, so-called love in the material world is simply individual and group selfishness. Daily killing to eat is the infinite elephant in the room that everyone completely ignores or makes prayers about to appease and thank God, as if it's God's idea that we are in this fallen state without fault of our own. Fallen state because we are in hell right now. It's not a fictional future. Hell is here now. Unless you're a slick marketer, then this is paradise. The so-called circle of life could just as equally be called the circle of life and death. But even so, the so-called life part sustains itself via eating. In other words, on the death and dismemberment, or at least the disturbance and selfish taking advantage of one by another. So really, the material world is most accurately called the cycle of unending death. Bad. But don't worry, because this program will end with good. Now, exactly why is unending death and eating of others bad? Duh! Because we wouldn't want it done to us. You know, like being eaten by the Canaanites in the Twilight Zone Season 3, Episode 24. A human life of renunciation is always incomplete, including if one only eats fruits and leaves that fall from trees. Because when you walk over to the tree, you're stepping on and killing small insects. Even when one is fasting until death, behold, floating single-celled entities that you breathe in are being disturbed and killed. As the Christians and others say, we can't earn our way into God's presence. Constant killing and exploitation of others is why. God is the only one with the right to kill and exploit. And if you don't like that, who are you going to call? The thing called life is problematic at best. And again, is not actually a nice thing, despite all the beautiful sunsets and smiling babies. Except if one comes back to material embodiment. The saying, quote, they went to a better place, is probably true. Hell is the place of death and destruction. And death and destruction is what's going on right here, right now, in this embodied life. This is an actual fact. We gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing we ever do, is a great sentiment. Maybe not the greatest song, but a great sentiment. Divine love, manifest as mercy at the time of death, is the closest real love gets to material embodiment. Well, excuse me, a slight correction is in order. Actually, in a way, our birth into this material hell is also God's mercy and real love. Why and how is that? Because without us having the free choice to come here, and we had that free choice, without that there's no meaning to divine love. So death and conception within the womb are the two transcendental bookends of material hellish existence. Except for God's presence in the material world, pure love is not to be found between birth and death, only on the other sides. The way to get out of this hellish place of remorseless enjoyment of constant killing to eat, and to never come back, is by complete, unending devotion to God, while simultaneously acknowledging our utter despicableness. Go from remorseless enjoyment of constant killing to remorseful of our complicitness, constant remembrance of our loving and oh so tolerant God. God is good. If you liked any part of this presentation, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and ring the bell to get automatic reminders of all new postings. And especially leave a short, uplifting comment, because that is how YouTube encourages us to communicate directly back and forth. And now, may God show you absolute truth and supreme beauty. Thank you very much.